Well, hello again people, and welcome to part 4 of living with a Porsche 997 Carrera 4. It's about 6 months since my last posting, and things have moved on a bit. Good news, bad news, whatever you want to call it. It's just the cost of living with a car. On the positive front, I took the car down to a place called Penman Detailing in Chiddingfold at Christmas, and I had some paint correction done, and I had a few things done to my taste, and it's had 3-year protective ceramic treatment to both the wheels and the paintwork. And that wasn't cheap. I mean, it was 1,700 quid, but I think it's money well spent because the car cleans better now, and I'm told it will help protect its future value. So that made me happy. That was my Christmas present to myself. Then in about January, February time, I noticed every time I went over a bump in the road, I got this ting-a-ling-a-ling sound, and I thought, well, something's vibrating. I wonder what it is. So I went down to my local Porsche specialist, a place called Porsche, which is in Bisley, in Surrey. Good people, look them up. I would recommend them highly. And they said to me, oh yeah, we know what that is. You've got 2 heat shields behind the exhausts in the engine bay, and they rot out. And this car is a 2006, so it's 19 years old. So understandably, you expect to have to replace things. In this particular case, I think the parts are 82 quid each. But by the time you've added the dreaded VAT and the labour charge, that was a bill of £500. And I thought, well, at least it's going to make the car quiet again to drive. It'll be lovely. Driving out the yard and down the lane where Porsche is situated, I could still hear a ting-a-ling-a-linging. And I thought, come on, they're supposed to fix this. So I went back to them. I said, do you mind coming out in the car with me? Because I think I can hear another set of, vibrating ting-a-linging sounds. And it transpired it was some backing plates which are behind the rear discs. And again, each part 20 quid. By the time they've had the car in and done the work, added the VAT, it was £230. But it's nice and quiet. As I went to collect the car, one of the mechanics said to me, he said, oh, don't you think it's about time you sorted out your gearbox leak? Pardon? What gearbox leak? He said, the one we advised you on your last service. I said, nobody said anything to me. Had a look. There's a little tick box on the service. It transpires there's an oil cooler pipe above the gearbox, and might have been leaking for a while. And this had made the gear change, although it's Tiptronic, it made the actual gear selector change a little notchy. So put the car in for that, had that done. They used a second-hand part rather than a new one. The cost of a new part fitted would have been 700 quid. Mine was 520 with this recommended part. But the surprising thing about all of that was that the car had lost 4 litres of oil out of a possible 6 in the gearbox. So I was very fortunate I didn't do any damage. And of course, now that's back, all done, dusted, I'm a happy boy. 1,300 quid lighter this year, but at least the car's running well. And, with an imminent trip to North Wales to go and do some of the great driving roads, I'm looking forward to giving her some beans, as they say in the trade. apart from that, everything's normal. No problems. I still would recommend TIPEC as the Independent Porsche Enthusiast Club to you all. If you haven't seen it, look them up because they are great. And it's not Hooray Henrys all crapping on about their own GT3 RSs or, that sort of thing. It's regular down-to-earth people with regular cars who've had them a while and they put miles on them, and you just talk to normal people who are enthusiasts for vehicles. Do I still love the ownership? Of course I love the ownership. These little hiccups along the way, they've got to be expected. The car's 19 years old, for Christ's sake. And periodically it's going to cost me a bit of money, but I think it's held up well residually, and I wouldn't have anything else to replace it. Certainly don't like newer Porsches. My advice to anybody thinking of getting into these, this is a 3.6 rather than a 3.8. Don't get embroiled into the things of, the bearing failures or bore scoring or any of that. Yes, it happened. Yes, it happened to about 5% of all of the cars. But if you're worried about a potential purchase, get it checked out by an expert. Do an engineer's report before you buy it. But don't be put off, because most of those cars are now sorted. And you'd be really, really unlucky to find one. So there you go. The Porsche 997 Carrera 4, part 4 of Living with the Beast. And it's a love affair. I think overall now I've done about 10,000 miles in it. But put a smile on your face. So, you've only got one life. Go out and enjoy it. And if it involves a Porsche, even if it involves a Boxster for about 6-7 grand, get into it, because they are so much fun. Talk to you again. Bye for now.